Welcome to this episode on the Health and Happiness Show, where it's my mission to change your mindset so that you can live a healthy and happier life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. Hey guys, it's Ollie here, and welcome back to another episode on the Health and Happiness Show, where today I'm going to be showing you the Japanese secret to living a healthier and happier life. What this secret is it's pronounced Ikigai. Yes, I have pronounced that right, or at least I hope I've pronounced that right. But Ikigai essentially means a meaning for life. And actually, why this is so profound and why I felt compelled to share it with you on the podcast today is because I know that actually there's a large majority of us who are just going through life as if they're just coasting, and they're feeling like they're just existing as opposed to living. And truly, if we're to look at what happiness looks like, it is living, not existing. And when I did this exercise myself and with the academy students just recently, it was so profound because it was this enlightenment, it was almost this epiphany of actually what they can achieve and what they just discovered as a result of doing this exercise. So of course, do your research on this, look this up and actually apply this yourself. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing a practical explanation of how you can do this, because it is so powerful. It really is. You guys know, like, the reason why this podcast exists in the first place is because of one word: purpose. It is my purpose and part of my mission to help you guys live a healthy and happier life. And this is when I did this exercise myself, it was quite a light bulb moment that actually I'm on the right track. Now please don't for a second think I've got it all figured out, because I really haven't. I figure it out as I go along. But what I do have is clarity, and if nothing else, what this exercise will give you is clarity. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Now, if you are listening to the audio version of this podcast, then please do head over to my YouTube channel, The Health and Happiness Show, where you can actually watch this demonstration. And like I said before, please try this exercise for yourself, because it's worked for me, it's worked for my students, and I have the greatest faith that it will work for you as well. So let's get stuck into it. So to begin with, what we need to do is we need to draw 4 circles, okay? So I'm going to go away here and draw 4 circles, and I encourage you to do the same whilst I'm doing this, okay? So we want 4 circles, 4 overlapping circles. They do usually have a name, I believe, but I can't remember it. So we're going to call them 4 circles for the time being. And again, you can make them look all even and nice. And what you can do after this exercise is you can actually color them in as well if you want to get onto your creative side. But without further ado, I'm just getting these circles nice and lined up. And that is our base, okay? That is our foundation for this exercise. The reason why there's 4 circles is because Ikigai supposedly has 4 primary elements that make up this meaning of life. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to go through these, okay? So I'm going to grab my pen and I'm going to change color. And the first one, and again, write this down as you go along. The first one is apologies. So the first one is what you love, okay? What you love, okay? Number 2, pillar, primary element, number 2. What the world needs. And I really apologize, I'm saying and I'm speaking this out very slowly, but I'm typing or literally writing as I go along here, okay? Number 3, what you can be paid for, okay? Paid for. And then number 4, what you are good at, okay? So those 4 areas right there make up the 4 elements to Ikigai. What you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you are good at, okay? Now we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into what these mean and actually how you find that clarity on these answers, okay? Because what does the world need, or what am I good at, or what can I be paid for? This is where we feel very, very lost in terms of the direction of in our lives. But as I covered in the previous episode, once you find crystal clear clarity, you have that path, you have that direction, and then you start setting goals, you work towards them, you achieve them, and guess what? You become more confident, you become healthier, you become happier, and so forth, okay? So what I'm gonna do here, so they're the 4 primary areas, okay? Now let's start with what you love. So within the 2 spaces here, what we have is 1, passion, okay? And then 2, mission. So let's break these down, okay? What you love falls into these 2 subcategories. Of course, it extends way beyond this, but for the purpose of this task looking at Ikigai, we're focusing on your passion and your mission. Now, if you don't know the answer to these just yet, that is perfectly fine. We're going to come into the full circle and then revisit these, okay? So moving around to what the world needs, the second element to this is your vocation, okay? Now, there's a few technically definitions of what a vocation is. Here we're looking at what your skill set may be, what your enjoyment may be, as a sort of a side hustle almost, okay? It's that thing you do on the side, or it's that skills that you have really good skills at, but maybe you just do it on the side. Following that then, on the opposite to your vocation, this is obviously what we can get paid for in this primary element, is actually your profession, okay? So, profession. So why the vocation and the profession goes hand in hand together is because, you can be the most talented reader in the world, right? You can read a book like that, full comprehension, whatever it is, but you may not be able to get paid for it, okay? Whereas if you are a teacher who teaches a pupil how to read and write, you can get paid for that, okay? So that's an example there. But now we have our 4 primary elements and our 4 secondary intersections of passion, mission, profession, and vocation, okay? Now, what that all creates, and this puts it all together, is our Ikigai, okay? And please, guys, if you believe I'm pronouncing this wrong, leave in the comments below the pronunciation. But I think I'm right, and I hope I'm right. But we're rocking with it anyway, okay? Regardless, if I was to maybe put an English word to this, for me it would actually kind of be about purpose, okay? Because it ties in with all of these 4 areas. But let's break these down now, okay? Now, to be selfish in this podcast episode, I will dive deep into, what I do for each of these areas, but also, to help you find clarity in your answers, we'll dive into a few different options for yourself, okay? So very simply, let's start here with actually, my mission, okay? This podcast exists today as part of my mission. Equally, my actual mission is to help, you live a healthier and happier life by changing your mindset. After my health and happiness was taken away from me from cancer, it was you who gave it back to me, and now I'm on this mission and I'm on this pursuit to helping you now live a healthy and happy life because I'm in the position to do so. So for me, very selfishly, coming off here, I'm going to say my mission is to help you live a healthier and happier life, okay? And how I do that is through, the Health and Happiness Academy. If you didn't know, the Health and Happiness Academy is in my 16-week online program where today I've had the opportunity and the blessing to change over 30 students' lives from all around the world, with students from Turkey, the United Kingdom, America. It's phenomenal, right? And actually what gets me out of bed every single day is my Ikigai, is my mission, and which plays one key primary area of this, right? So please, guys, once you understand your mission, you understand your reason to get out of bed in the morning, okay? Now we're going to come come back to these. I'm going to be selfish and go through mine first, and then I'm going to come back and help you learn actually what could be your mission, what could be your passion, and so forth. Okay, so what I'm going to come to next is actually my profession. I'm going to go the complete opposite side of this. Okay, now my profession by name would be an online coach. Okay, now you may not know what an online coach is. Essentially, a coach has many different definitions. My definition of coaching is helping someone go from A to Z. Okay, now most people can go from A to B to C to D, but then they get stuck. They either give up dieting, they fall off track, they just want to give up, they throw in the towel, they binge eat, they emotionally eat, they're fed up, whatever it is, or they just lack patience. Okay, so very much I'm helping someone go from A to B to D to C. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through the entire alphabet. I help someone go from A to Z. How do I do that? By providing the accountability, providing the guidance, and helping them change their mindset, which, guys, as you know, once you change your mindset, you change your life. You're exactly right if you said that along with me at home. But that's essentially what I do. The reason why I moved online in 2020 was because for me, as much as I loved personal training, and I really, really did love it, I could only help one person in that hour. And if I'm to fulfill my mission, which in 2020 is to help 100 people live a healthy and happy life within the Health and Happiness Academy, then I had to expand. I had to go bigger. I had to actually, provide a platform, which is what the Academy is, to help and serve people who are now reaching all across the world. And actually, I'm going to move into my vocation shortly. In fact, this is the perfect time, actually, Ollie, right? So my vocation is this podcast, okay? The Health and Happiness Show, okay? Now, I love the podcast. I freaking love doing this podcast. I thought I was going to love it when I had the idea for it, and I literally love it. Of course, this, this is episode 35, I believe I'm recording here, and that's amazing, right? Like, it's absolutely amazing to think that this only launched in May, which was actually set to me as a goal by my mentor. Is so amazing. Like, to know, like, I'm looking at the analytics, and I'm seeing that we're now reaching thousands of downloads, and we've reached, I think it was over 30 countries worldwide, with countries I can probably not even pronounce. We're literally reaching a global audience now, which actually gives me the greatest happiness. But this is a vocation, and this is a great example. This is a great example of actually how I can help people, but it's actually something that I can't get paid for. Now, you can get paid for podcasting. However, I don't do this for money. I don't get paid for any of these episodes, which makes it a vocation for me, okay? It's something which I believe the world needs, in a sense of I'm putting this podcast platform out there as a way of helping and serving more people, to expand my reach, to expand my audience, to expand my service offering, right? Because here's the thing, the Academy, for example, is a paid program. That's because it's my highest level coaching service. But I'm well aware that not everyone can afford that. But what I'm not okay with is actually someone being deprived of the teachings, of the lessons, of the opportunity to change their mindset, to change their life, to live a healthy and happy one, because they can't afford it, right? I very much believe, like, I've come from nothing. When I moved to Belfast, I literally had zero money to my name, because in fact the only money I had was from selling my car to my best mate, because he was the only one that would buy it, and that paid for my rent for the first month. I've come from nothing. I am as humble as they come. And that's why when someone says to me, look, Ollie, the program sounds great, but I can't afford it, I'm like, amazing. Well, listen to this episode, this episode, this episode. For me, it's that opportunity to actually still help that individual how I hope and intend to help them. And that's it. And the feedback that I get from this podcast is the reason why I do this podcast. I do this for you, and I do this as a way to help someone on a free basis, okay? So for me, that vocation means so much. It really, truly does. And it's why I will continue doing these episodes for, forever, right? So my profession as an online coach, that is extended through the Health and Happiness Academy, which, guys, if you want to learn about, then just head to olliejowett.com. I would love for you to be a part of this amazing program. But my vocation then is the podcast, okay? that ties into with my mission of helping you live a healthier and happier life. Now, what does that therefore mean my passion is? Well, of course, I have many passions, but on the subject of actually tying this all together, my passion lies within the mindset, okay? So why does mindset mean so much to me? Well, if you didn't know, the mindset, the mind is actually the brain. And just a few years ago, I was diagnosed with brain cancer, whereby I had a malignant tumor inside my head. Immediately, my response was, using my mindset, was actually, I need to learn about the brain. I need to learn about actually the body. I need to learn about the science of this. And since that journey a few years ago, I've just been on this journey to studying the brain inside out. Now, to some people, that would be quite boring. For me, it's very, very exciting. Why? Because the brain, the mindset, is the master controller. And once you learn how to retake control of it, everything changes. But guess what? If you don't change anything, nothing changes. So until we change our mindset, we won't and can't change our life, okay? We need to understand, guys, right? You want to lose weight? Amazing. Change your mindset, you'll lose weight. You want to build a business? Amazing. Change your mindset and you'll build the business, right? You want to actually have confidence in yourself? Change your mindset, you'll have that confidence. You want to actually, go up the career ladder, then change your mindset. Like, guys, everything comes down to your mindset. Why? Because your mindset has two voices, okay? The angel and the devil that sit on either shoulder, and which you listen to determines the quality of your life. Yes, that's right. The quality of your mindset determines the quality of your life. That, my friends, is why I'm so passionate about it, right? Because if I can change the way that you think, the way that you feel, and the way that you act through your emotions, through your habits, through your behaviors, then guess what? You are going to live a healthier and happier life, all in and amongst you achieving your goals. If that isn't awesome, like, I don't know what is, right? That is why I am passionately obsessed with the mindset, all in my quest to fulfilling my mission, that is to help you guys live a healthier and happier life, okay? So this is what was so amazing to me. When I did this exercise, I was like, this is why I have the greatest happiness every single day, which, by the way, I'm incredibly grateful for, because once again, I may have this now, but let me tell you something, right? This time last year, I was in a completely different place, and it wasn't a positive one. It wasn't a brighter one. It wasn't a better one, okay? And whilst the green isn't grass on the other side, the grass, my friends, is greener wherever you water it. And what I did in that time was I watered it, and I've now created this, which is now I want to help you create the life that you want, because you have it. Every single one of us have it inside of us. We absolutely do, okay? So let's help you with this. Now look, I don't know you right now in terms of, I don't know exactly where you're at, what you want, and so forth. But let's look at this from a few examples, and let's actually just break these down, okay? So I think passion's the easiest one to come to, okay? What do you love? Like, actually, what do you enjoy? What do you, and a really good way of actually answering this question is to go, what makes the time disappear, right? And you'll know everything that you don't love, and actually create two lists, all the things that you love, all the things that you don't love. Because if you're in work going, oh, it feels like I've been here for 10 hours and it's been 10 minutes, then maybe you're in the wrong work, which obviously ties into your profession, which is perfect, right? To discover both your passion and your profession, look at what you're good at, okay? So you're now moving from what you love, all the things that you love, right, and all the things that you don't love, to actually all the things that you're good at. Are you good at communication? Are you good at helping people? Are you good at customer service? Are you good at numbers? Are you good at language? Are you good at education? Are you good at science? Like, what are you good at? Then tie that in with what it is that you love. Like, you may be the best person in the world of numbers, but you may despise numbers. So why would you go into that? That doesn't link in together with your passion. What might you be good at? You might be good at child, you may love working with, so what you may love is working with children, right? Children make you happy, they make you laugh, whatnot, and you may be really good as a parent yourself. So guess what? You interlink that with your passion, and guess what? Your profession now comes, working in a nursery, working as a teacher, working with college students, whatever that may be, right? So we need to identify what we love and what we are good at, in order to then create what our profession becomes. Okay, now profession, vocation, I think is one of the most important things, because for example, you could even say that the passion of mine would be producing content. I actually love creating these videos, doing whatever it is for you guys, right? Whether it's creating academy modules, whether it's creating content for my social media, I really enjoy it. However, no amount of videos gets you paid, and if I'm to keep this roof over my head, then guess what? I need to get paid. And really, like, if we want to get completely transparent here, that's the only reason why I charge the academy. And actually, if you'd seen on my social media just recently, this episode that I'm filming right now is filmed on the brand new camera that I invested in, and actually that was such a rewarding moment for me, because guys, like, I think you'll know, and if you don't know, then I'm going to tell you now, I am not driven by money in life, right? My mission, let's go back to your mission, isn't to make loads of money, right? In fact, the majority of the money that I make goes into my living expenses and reinvesting it in the academy. The academy only launched in February of 2020, and since then it has been reinvested. Right now, I am filming this podcast in my living room. I might have the pink screen behind me, right? But that is a backdrop which has been stuck to my wallpaper, okay? And actually, what motivates me as part of my mission, and what actually, gives me that motivation, is one day I absolutely will have a studio where I can film my podcast, we can have guests involved, and it's not in my living room. It's the same when I've been doing my live workouts with the academy students. I've had to literally move around my entire living room, push it all to the back in order just to create workout space, right? And actually, I love that. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you now is because actually in 6 months' time, in a year's time, in 5 years' time, all these stepping stones of progression, I'm going to be able to look back on and actually go, yeah, I've progressed. I've actually built something, right? It's so easy, guys, and we do this all the time. We always just think about the end result and not the stepping stones of progression. You want to lose 3 stone, but you're not acknowledging the 3 pounds that you've just lost. But to get to the 3 stone, you have to do the stepping stones, right? Like, for me to get the workout studio, for me to get the podcast room, I actually have to have these stepping stones. I actually have to start. And that's what it comes down to, okay? So I can't remember exactly where I was there, but I'm tying this in with my mission, my vocation, and so forth, okay? So on the vocation, what skills do you have? I don't think I'm particularly brilliant at, podcasting, right? And in fact, if you look at my very first episodes, I was atrocious. And to a certain extent, I'm still atrocious. But what I do also know is that with every single podcast that I do, I get a little bit more excited. I get a little bit more confident. Things start to flow better. I get into better systems, right? I remember the first podcast that I did, it took me about 2 days to edit and to work out how to upload. Now I can do it within a couple hours. And that's the difference, right? So everything's a progression, everything's a stepping stone. But what is what vocations do you like? Do you like learning? Do you like, singing? Do you like, playing sport, right? Like, what are you good at that you can do on the side that maybe ties in with your mission, that creates what the world needs? So when I was doing this with my students, my academy students, we had one student who, her profession, she is an accountant. She works with numbers. Okay, that's personally my idea of hell. She loves it. Hey, differences, amazing. I love it, right? Diversity. So her profession is, she's an accountant, but her vocation actually turned into discovering that she is a farmer. She has grown up on, the farming with her parents, but it was never her passion, which is why she didn't pursue that there, and that's why it didn't become her profession. But it has become a vocation for her, in the sense of, as she's grown up and as she's become more and more involved in the farming culture, she's discovered that. And what was amazing was the light bulb for her was, actually, this is what the world does need, and actually she's grown to like it more and more and more. And actually, that could then tie into her mission of, helping the environment. Look at it, just the sort of farming agriculture world, right? It's massive. It's needed. Like, it's not a want; it's a necessity. So this is, that's just one example there of what you could do in terms of your professions, guys. Again, tie into what you're good at, but for me, work is the most powerful thing. And, at the time of recording this, it's been World Suicide Prevention Week. And, for me, it is my work that gets me out of the bed in the morning. I have my battles like every single one, every single body, right? But actually, what gets me out of bed in the morning is knowing that I've got to show up. And it's knowing that I've got to show up to this podcast. It's knowing I've got to show up to that coaching call. It's knowing that I've got to show up to my clients who look up to me as their, as an inspiration. And that's what gives me the buzz, right? So actually, your profession is so profound, because if you wake up and you're filled with dread of, I've got to go to that job today, guess what? That's not creating happiness, and actually that's creating ill health, because the mental well-being that you've got to consider, along with the emotional well-being involved in that as well. This is why Ikigai actually is so profound, right? Once you get clarity on, what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and actually what you're good at, oh my God, and then you go into the subcategories of your passions, your missions, your vocations, and your professions. It's the light bulb, it's the epiphany. And guys, brainstorm each and every single one of those sort of 8 areas, and don't stop until you get clarity on these answers. This really helped me, this really helped my students, and my hope now is that it really, really helps you. So I think that's a great moment to wrap up there. It's been a pleasure delivering this. I hope that's made sense. If you have any questions, of course, reach out. And guys, I just want to finish then on saying that actually, I live my life by the saying that you're one decision away from a totally different life. Make that one decision today to find your ikigai, to find your meaning, to answer these questions, and just see where it leads to in your life. Guys, stay healthy, be happy, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.